everyone. I'm a sailor who plans trips and a developer who builds apps. And today I want to share the story behind NavalPlan, an app I built to solve a very specific problem I face every time I make plans to sail. Planning multi-day trips with my friends required a bunch of steps. First, we pick a destination, think an area like the Chesapeake or off the coast of Miami. Then in that area, I need to find places to rent a boat, waypoints where we can anchor for the night, harbors where we can get off the boat and stretch our legs. In picking those stops, I need to get a mix of information, some of it pretty objective. What are the tides doing on that spot on that day that we will be there? What will the weather be like? When will the sun rise and set? And some of it is subjective. Where are the good anchorages? Are there good restaurants or places to stop for provisions? What are the hazards or bright spots in the area? Planning a stop at a new harbor requires consolidating all of this information: tides, weathers, amenities, facilities. I usually have to sift through a lot of data manually, correlating data from many different sources. The objective stuff is usually available as data, sometimes from governmental websites, sometimes with an API. The other information, the very subjective data, lives in old forums, review sites, and other obscure web locations. To help me with this, I wrote an app called NavalPlan, and agents that go along with it. I use the app to navigate to the part of the world I want to sail in. Then I set a general idea of where I'm going to be. Then I assign all of the waypoints. Once I have that all dialed in, I click the research button, and then the agents do their thing. What makes these agents special is how they combine two very different types of information. It uses deterministic tools for the objective data, calling APIs to get the exact tides and wind forecast for that specific day at that specific location. There's no chance for hallucination there, it's just hard data. But then it pairs that with qualitative research. It searches for anchorages and marinas, but filters them through the context of the weather it just found. It reads reviews and cruising guides to tell me the anchorage has good holding, but it's exposed to the northwest wind that commonly blows in May. It's applying reasoning to the raw data. An agent is the only right solution here because the correct answer changes based on the data. A static database can list marinas, but only an agent using Google search tool can find information about this area that's buried in old sailors forums and summarize a long thread in context. So how do we build a virtual Harbourmaster that can handle both hard API calls and soft reasoning? The architecture relies on the agentic tool pattern in ADK. There are two agents at work here, the voyage agent and the stop agent. The voyage agent, for the entire trip, uses Google search data to provide very specific information for the general area and spit it out correctly. I use specific instructions to the agents to make sure that the data I get back is in the right format. The stop agent uses geographic and calendar data to get all of the information I need for a location. Then I wire things together in main.go, where we initialize our specialized tools. We aren't just giving the agent a search bar, we're giving it dedicated functions for the weather tool, the tide tool, and the places tool. As I said earlier, these tools are deterministic. For example, the tide tool calls the NOAA CO-OPS API directly to fetch high and low tide predictions. But we also need soft research capability. To do that, we use a hierarchical pattern. We create a search specialist agent equipped with Google Search, and then we hand that entire agent to the stop agent as a tool. This allows the virtual Harbourmaster to delegate. It uses the API tools to find the wind predictions at Alatlan, and then tells the search specialist, go find what's around this location. This pattern, hybridizing hard APIs with soft reasoning, is powerful for any planning task. Imagine a travel app that doesn't just list hotels, but checks your flight arrival time against the hotel's check-in policy and traffic conditions to tell you you will not make it to the downtown hotel before the desk closes, so you should stay at the airport when the night you arrive. With NavalPlan, I don't spend hours cross-referencing charts and forecasts. I get a briefing. I make decisions, and I drop my anchor with confidence. If you want to build agents like this, whether it's for sailing, coding, or your own business, you don't have to start from scratch. The pattern I showed today was built using Agent Development Kit. You can find the full source code for these agents along with other architectural patterns right now at the link on the screen. Grab the codes, spin up the samples, and see what you can build. Thanks for watching.